here we are in the middle of an unprecedented time in the city of Troy. And I want each and every one of you in Troy to know that you have a mayor and 6 city council members that care very much about you and are working very hard every single day to make sure that our city management and our city employees have all the resources and support that they need in order to lead us through this crisis in this state of emergency. And I am so very proud of our city and our city staff and what everybody is doing. It's been about a month since we started with our Emergency Operations Center, and I know that the police department handles a good portion of that, overseen by City Manager Miller. And all city employees have really stepped up to the plate to transition their work to home, which is not an easy task, as we are sitting here having our city council meeting at home. It feels different for us, and we all know what it's like to transition to working from home. It's been difficult, I'm sure, but everyone has really stepped up, and really everyone's moving at full speed, and it's wonderful to see, and we're very, very thankful. In the city of Troy, we have Troy Beaumont Hospital, and I couldn't be more proud of our healthcare heroes, our doctors and nurses who are residents who live in our city and who are going to work every day and putting their lives on the line to help us save our lives and protect us. It's really, really, as a mayor of a city and a council member, to have the kind of support that we have for our healthcare heroes is very beautiful and wonderful. And we know that you're working hard. We know that you are usually short on personal protective equipment, and you're still going in there and giving it your all, trying to keep us all safe and healthy. And it's really phenomenal. Also, our frontline responders on other levels, our grocery store workers, the people who are still picking up our trash, the people who are out there working because they're essential employees. We know that you're also putting yourself at risk, and we thank you for your service to our city and to our residents and what you're doing in this crisis. And the way you're doing it with class and grace, and you're doing it for the good of all of our community, and it's really commendable. I'm also extremely proud of our residents and our business owners in the city of Troy. I can't tell you how many things I've seen online, how many phone calls I've gotten of people who have stepped up to volunteer, to help different organizations, to donate supplies to our first responders and frontline responders, to go out of the way to bring joy to someone's life who they know is maybe at home, staying at home alone, which is going to be very difficult for people to do. Our residents and our businesses are, of course, stepping up to the plate because that's who Troy is and that's what Troy is. And I couldn't be prouder of all of us who are doing that. And also the fact that so many of you are staying home and staying safe and keeping us all safe is exceptional. Social distancing is not easy. Trying to stay apart from people, knowing that you can't go visit your family and friends on a holiday, as we've had this past week, knowing that you're experiencing new norms as you go to the grocery store, as you're walking around your neighborhood. It's difficult and anxiety producing, but you're handling it with class and grace. And we should be very proud of our city and our community as a whole, because we are, I think, probably one of the best in the region, if not the best in the state. Our residents and our businesses are very, very good. So I thank all of our city staff, all of our first and frontline responders, and our residents and businesses for the commitment you're doing. And I ask you to remember to please continue to stay safe, stay home, keep washing your hands, practice proper social distancing, recognize that this is temporary and that although it's difficult, we can and will get through this together, but it's going to take our continued patience as we work through these times. Also, your donations, please keep them up. The personal protective equipment is always needed, whether it's at the hospitals, whether it's the grocery stores. I've done some work to get people to volunteer and to donate supplies to both the hospitals and some of our local grocery stores. I ask that all of you in our community continue to do that as well. I've seen pictures and heard stories from our Troy School District, who has been out of this world at rallying troops to get together and provide supplies. And I know everyone on council has likely seen those same pictures and heard those stories and probably donated some supplies themselves. Really is important, and as we're continuing to go through this time, it's important that we continue to keep the donations coming because they're just as needed now as they've always been. City of Troy isn't responsible for releasing information about confirmed COVID-19 cases or the deaths in our city. That's the county's job. And as of today, Monday the 13th, we've had 257 confirmed positive cases of COVID-19 in our city. We understand that those numbers are likely much, much higher as we're not able to do all the testing that needs to be done in our community. But we understand also that as of today, there have been 18 confirmed deaths in our city from COVID-19, which is really a terrible thing to hear as a mayor and as a resident, as a neighbor. And it breaks my heart that those families are suffering with the loss of a loved one. And I ask that each and every one of you in our community take a time each day as we're at home to just keep them in your thoughts and keep them in your prayers and your mind, and recognize that we all will likely know somebody who's had adverse reactions and experiences because of COVID-19. But we can never forget those people in our community that are suffering from this and who have passed away. And again, it breaks my heart. We also are experiencing a whole other kind of anxiety and pain, and that's the economic loss, the job losses, the fear of losing our income and what's going to happen with our economy. Troy has been a powerhouse in our county and our state for years, and I'm very, very confident that it will continue to be in the future. But I know that right now many of us are stressed about that. We've talked some tonight about the landscaping businesses. We've talked about the restaurants, and Troy is known for its restaurants, and right now most of them are closed down or doing a very limited carryout. So I know that is anxiety producing, and I also want you to know that as your mayor, I look forward to, when we're getting through this, coming back out into the community and cutting ribbons and celebrating businesses reopening and showing what Troy really is as far as our economic strength. I'm very hopeful, even as we sit here in these unprecedented times. I know that because of all the steps we've taken in our community and what we're doing in this country, we will get through this. Troy has suffered from other things in the past, but it's always come through strong. And I know that we will be strong again in the very, very near future. We just have to keep it on and follow the rules as best we can, because it really is saving lives and helping flatten the curve. I think maybe there's a glimmer of hope that we're just starting to see that curve flatten a little bit as we head into this. We certainly don't know, but that's not a time to give up and be more relaxed. That's a time to hunker down even more and keep those numbers going in the right direction. We hope and we pray that is what is happening. We need to be there for each other now as we are staying at home. And I also really strongly believe that we need to be there for each other when we are able to go back out. And I know that we will be, because I spoke about how great our community is, and our residents, and our neighbors, and our friends, our families. We will be back out in our restaurants before you know it. Our retail spaces will be full of shoppers, and our economy will be humming along as it once was. We just have to get through this downward time, and we will do it. We'll do it as a community. We'll do it together. As a mayor, as a council member, all of us on council, we thank you for your continued work in doing what you can to keep our city safe. And we wish you all Godspeed, and we care about you very, very much. So thank you. Thank you for listening. It was a little bit long, but I have a lot of interaction with many of you, and I want to make sure you know that we're hearing you and we do very much care. So thank you.